Hey y'all. It's been a week and a half, 2 weeks. Um, so uh, last Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, I was having trouble breathing, and I ended up calling the ambulance and going by ambulance to the hospital. Now I was already scheduled for last Friday to have a pacemaker, defibrillator, and an AV ablation to try and wasn't going to fix the AFib, but it would start making my life easier. Well, so I got there Wednesday morning, met a new cardiologist who I really like, and they ended up. I was afraid I was having a heart attack because I was feeling pain here in my neck, and when the ambulance got here, they said my heart rate was going way up 130, 140, and then dropping down, and then up and down and up. And they said that was what was causing this pain here. So I didn't have a heart attack, but they decided to move up the procedure from Friday until Thursday. So a week ago today, I went in and they did the work. So here I am. It's been a week. This is covers the incision. I don't know if you can see right here where it's discolored, and this is what it's raised. You can't see it, but this is the pacemaker slash defibrillator. It does both things. I can tell you that I'm already breathing easier. It had gotten so bad that um, just walking from my recliner downstairs in the RV to the kitchen and back, well, I'd have to stop there and take a breath, get some breathing. So came home on Friday, and I'm not supposed to do anything, no driving for 2 weeks, which is really hard for me because I'm very independent and I have no one else to rely on really but myself, although my neighbors have been great. Um, couldn't lift my arm. So if you notice, my hair is really short. I got my neighbor to take me in Tuesday, and I just said, "Give me a pixie." So it may not look great, but it's going to be a lot easier to take care of. And I just feel better about it. But I'm breathing easier. I can actually walk from my trailer across the drive and into my neighbor's landlord's house without having to stop twice just to catch my breath. I can actually walk there without having to stop at all. So that's a big deal. Now there was a good deal of pain. Um, they had they had put this is where they had in put the IV in port when I was in the ambulance, and so that's the one they used. But it was I don't know why they do it straight in there, and then through being the time in the hospital, by the time they took that needle out, it was bent like this. So that required some healing. A lot of bruising, a lot of tenderness. Now, right here, you see this? This is covering a patch that's about the size of a quarter. When they took off that, and this they did in the hospital, removed the adhesive, I don't know what was there, but it just ripped off a bit of skin. So I'm having to keep that covered and put some Neosporin and stuff on like that. And then when they pulled another section up here, right there. That also pulled off the skin. So I'm going in tomorrow to see my regular primary care and give him all the paperwork so he knows what's been going on. And I'm hoping that they can take this off, check the incision, and without tearing off my skin. Um, Now, I will probably have to go back in because the AV ablation, the pacemaker, and defibrillator, that does not stop the atrial fibrillation, the AFib, and that's still going on. Even though when I take my um, blood pressure with the pulse, my pulse is steady 80. Um, Before it was all over, and it was high. It was for the last couple of years. My resting heart rate was between about 95 to 106. So 80 is steady, and then now the defibrillator was so if my heart stops, that'll shock it back into rhythm. Um, Back in February of 2016, my EF, which is your ejection fraction rate, was 10, which means I was pretty much dead. So I had to wear what they call a life vest, which is an external defibrillator. So if my heart stopped, it would shock it. And I wore that for about 4 or 5 months. And they had put me on a list to get a defibrillator. Well, in that time, with the medication and everything, my EF went up to 40, 45, which is the safe range, the lowest of the safe range. Normally, you want it to be 60, 65 if you're nice and healthy and young. And 40, 45, though, I was out of the defibrillator range. In November, we had another echocardiogram, and at that time, my uh, EF was 30, 35. So I was once again better have a defibrillator. They did an echocardiogram just 30 minutes before they took me back to the ER, to the operating room for this procedure, and my EF had dropped 2025. So I wasn't surprised. So the Dr. Hamid, who's going to be my new cardiologist, he had wanted to do a left and right heart cath to get up and be able to see inside the heart and see what's really going on with the AFib. But because everything had already been scheduled, the representatives were already there, and there was a real lack of communication between Dr. Hamid and the other doctor who was the cardio electrophysiologist. Um, I'm hoping they will communicate now. Anyway, we didn't do it then. Now I have an appointment on the 1st to go see both Dr. who did all this, and then Dr. Hamid, who will be my regular ongoing cardiologist. And hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we will go in and do a watchman. Now, the watchman is something they go in through the artery in the groin and go up and into the heart. I believe that's how they put it in. But off of the chamber of the atrium, off to the one side, there's a little side chamber, and blood tends to collect in there. And if the heart isn't pumping like it should, then a clot can form in there, and then that clot passes and it can cause a stroke, which I'm not excited about having a stroke right now. So they'll do the watchman. The watchman goes into this chamber, okay, and then opens up and blocks blood from getting in there. And eventually, after about 90 days, 60 to 90 days, I won't have to take blood thinners anymore because I'm really not supposed to because of a gastric bleed I had a couple years ago. And then, and the danger of bleeding. And besides, I take CoQ10, hawthorn berry, garlic, all of which had mild anticoagulant properties to them anyway. So I should be good there. Um, Now, here's the thing. After the procedure, the nurse comes in and wants to give me a pill. And I said, what is it? It's a statin. And I said, no, absolutely not. And the reason being, statins are linked to dementia. I like my brain like it is. So she didn't push it. But I did some research, and there are some things, for instance, orange bergamot, um, it's all about the cholesterol. The statin is supposed to keep the cholesterol from forming around the leads that go into the heart. Yeah, statins are terrible. Um, if you're on it, I'd look at something else because I believe that's what caused my mother's dementia. And my dad, thankfully, he was on it for a short time. And when I told him about it, he got off it and he refuses because all of his siblings and the one who is still left, all of them have died with dementia. And his sister, one sister who's left, she's in a home. She has dementia. Daddy's getting somewhat forgetful. His wife told me that, she sees some signs, but why hurry it along? So I'm glad he's not doing and don't even get me started on the fact that he didn't have the jab, the C19 jab, but she did. And that would take a whole side rabbit trail. Anyway, that's why I haven't been doing anything for the last few days. I'm hadn't even turned on my computer. This is the first I've done. But all in all, I can say it was the best decision at the time to go in by ambulance because what was happening is, as I was trying to go to sleep, I'd be drifting off and then waking up and just starving for air. And I had gotten in the habit, you know what ZQL is, that liquid, the purple stuff, and you drink it. It's got diphenhydramine in it, which makes you a little bit sleepy. So I had started taking, a couple swigs of that before at bedtime. And sometimes that would relax me enough that I could actually fall asleep. But it had gotten pretty bad right there towards the end last week. And that's why I called the ambulance. And plus the pain in my neck. And I just thought, okay, maybe I should go get this checked. So anyway, I'm back. I'll be healing. I'll keep you updated. If you're interested, like and subscribe. And yeah, that's it. What do you think about my hair? It's so thin. But at least it's got some oomph to it now. Yeah? Okay. Talk to y'all later. Bye.